And welcome back, folks. This is Mr. Nibb, and I've got a topic today that I've been wanting to discuss for a very long time. Now, with all the chatter going around right now on Reddit and Discord and social media, especially on YouTube, there's a lot of YouTubers, they're all talking about the same thing as some of the things that FoxNext is not doing right. Now, there are multiple topics I'm going to touch up upon. I think where I'm going to be a little bit different, though, is kind of like offer some solutions. There's a lot of griping going on, but nobody's really talking about positive ways to not just impact the community, but positive solutions that FoxNext can apply to satiate the masses as far as the community and their player base is concerned. So, that said, we're going to tackle the first one, and this is the biggest fiasco right now on Reddit, and it's talking about this gold thing. Now, I know more than a little and less than a lot. What I do know is apparently there's some kind of A/B marketing scheme that they're using where they're giving some of the newer players more gold from completing their dailies, where I guess it was somewhere in the ballpark of giving them 125k, whereas players at max level are only getting 25k, which doesn't take a genius to understand is a huge discrepancy. And it could allow some of those younger players or the newer players to catch up, and maybe that's the idea. Maybe it is some marketing tactics to see how people spend their gold. Maybe they're giving them different offers than we're getting as well. I mean, there's so many variables that we don't know about this. I still have yet to see an actual picture of somebody claiming to have gotten, this much gold. I actually made a comment about that, and people directed me towards one, but there's like maybe a few. You're talking about a player base with like 1 million people, let's just say, give or take. And if they're giving like 500 to 1,000 people this bonus gold, it's not gonna have the impact that people think. Now, if you start getting into like 10,000, 25,000, things of that nature, okay, I can see where it can have an impact. And another variable is like, we don't know how long that lasts. Does it last at level 20 to level 30? Who knows? Like, you really don't know. Maybe they're just trying to get people, maybe they found that their attrition rate for newer players was a lot higher than they wanted it to be. So they were giving them free gold as incentive so they can maybe play around with some of the heroes or characters a lot more than they could with the previous amount of gold that we were getting. I don't know. And FoxNext is terrible at communicating with their community. And, and that's the thing. Like, and I think that will hopefully get better. I know in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, they weren't the best at communicating with their player base initially either. And they learned the hard way. Kind of like FoxNext is doing now. Is like they're allowing the sewing circle, so to speak, to just spread all kinds of gossip. And it's turning into animosity. And the wolves are foaming at the mouth, and that's kind of what Reddit looks like right now. There's a lot of people griping about various issues, but the gold thing is like the biggest one right now that is really pissing people off, which is understandable. But until FoxNext comes out and gives us some kind of explanation for it or describes it more elaborately in detail so we can understand if they're doing it, maybe it could have just been a bug. For all we know, it could have been an error. It could have been an oversight by one of the employees or something on the back end or a server side issue. There's so much that we don't know. We don't even know if it was intentional because FoxNext has not broke the silence about it yet. So I'm kind of waiting to hear about that. Which brings me to my next topic is like they're really terrible about communication. For a minute they were getting on like Reddit and they were kind of interacting with the community and talking about some issues, getting into discussion, saying yay or nay, making affirmations about things. Not so much anymore. Like, I get it, they're busy, like they've got crazy scheduling going on with like all these Marvel movies, and like after Ant-Man and Wasp, they kind of have like 3 months to go until like Venom comes out, at least 3 months. And they'll have some time to maybe look into that and refresh their presence in the community and maybe, reestablish some connectivity with their player base. But as of right now, there isn't really a whole lot. Like, I think the last thing they sent us was like that email about their release schedule for, characters and things that they wanted to do and how they wanted to go about doing it. That's pretty much been it. I mean, I will give them a tip to the hat about giving us a week, of preparation and a heads up for the Iron Man event, as well as the Payday event that's coming up. That's pretty cool. They didn't do none of that before, although I expected that for the Iron Man event. I did not expect it for the Payday event, however. I did think that it was going to be like every 2.5 weeks, because that's kind of how Star Wars does it with like the credit heist, so I kind of saw that coming, and I expect that to be like a regular thing. Now, things that they can do is like, why do they not have a presence on Reddit? How can they make, and I guess there was some figure that they made $6 million last month, alright? How the hell can they not afford a community manager? Where's the community manager? Just pay somebody $12 an hour, which equates to about $35,000 a year or something, to sit on their computer all day and interact with the community and answer questions. At least nullify some of the damage that's being done with the gossip that's being spread and the anger that's on Reddit right now. Like, you've got to kill, like, they've got to come in and douse those fires a little bit before shit gets out of control. I'm surprised they haven't jumped on it as quick as they probably could have. Why are there not forums? They could ease a lot of this and have transparency with their player base by having forums. Star Wars has it. They make all their announcements and their plan of attack and their road that they're paving via the forums. They're very open in Star Wars with CG games. Why is FoxNext not doing that? Why are they not filling us in on what's going on? Why are they leaving the player base in the dark? Maybe it's because we keep throwing money at them regardless? Who knows? I know there's a lot of whales in the Marvel Strike Force universe. Maybe they're the ones that are keeping the developers in the dark. Who knows? But it just blows my mind still how there has not been a community manager or somebody that they've appointed to be the liaison between FoxNext and the community itself. It's just way too far in the game. We're talking about this game's been out. It's been global launch. It's all, like, coming up on 3 months now. They need to get a community manager like ASAP, or shit's gonna hit the fan. Like, they really just need to jump on it. So that's one of the solutions. Is just like, get some, some transparency, get some community going, and it will give people an avenue and a forum to kind of express what they like, what they don't like, what they want to see, what they, what they expect from FoxNext, and vice versa. Now, right now, everybody's using like Discord, they're using Reddit, and that's fine. But there's no interaction whatsoever with FoxNext, and it needs to be fixed, like, ASAP. Now, the next thing is like, a lot of people are just griping about these packs that they're selling. Like, or, they're not worth it, they're trying to rip us off, so forth and so on. Yeah, rightly so. And I agree. Like, I'm not defending FoxNext in any way, shape, or form, because 90% of their offers are absolute garbage. And especially with all the blitzes recently, are you kidding me? Drax, now we got Luke Cage. I mean, a plethora of useless heroes that nobody cares about and nobody's really using in their lineup. Like, if they think throwing these blitz events at us for heroes that we don't need is going to just, like, automatically change the meta overnight, they're ignorant. Like, I can't even believe that it's even happening. I really honestly can't believe that we haven't had a Captain America or a Black Widow or even a Hawkeye blitz event during this Iron Man event. That's like, mind blown. Like, I thought for sure that they would be smart enough to do that. It would encourage people to spend some money maybe on Blitz, especially for Black Widow and Cap. I mean, since I've been playing since launch, and there's only been 1 Cap event and 2 Black Widow events. The first one, you had to be top 500 just to get shards. The second one, you didn't. They gave them to, like, the percentage, like top 10, 25%, etc. So, the fact is they're throwing these ridiculous packs at us. I'm not gonna lie, I got the medic one just for the shield medics. I didn't want to risk not getting the shards. I mean, that was a pretty good deal. Like, the $5 and the $10 ones are really good deals a lot of the time. And I wish that they would stick with that more. There's actually math that supports the fact that players are more likely to buy multiple packs that are cheaper than spending, say, $20, $30 when they're not even unlocking the hero. Who's going to pay $20 or $30 for a pack that doesn't even guarantee that you even get to play the hero? Where's the value in that? Like, where's the gratification? The whole point of buying things like that is so you don't have to farm them. It's like instant gratification. Like, we live in a society where, like, we pay for convenience of not having to go do things. And especially in a game like this where it's like a huge marathon. It's not a sprint. It's about slow and steady wins the race. You know, you slowly farm out all these characters, you slowly build up your roster, and then you eventually get to the destination that you have set in your mind. So, without having the character unlockable instantly, it's not worth it. Maybe for rare characters like Black Widow, but my guess is she's going to be unlocked relatively soon. Like, there's just no value in it. I can't believe some of the packs I've seen for like Drax, things like that. Who cares, man? Those characters are easily farmable, and the people that genuinely do want them already have them. And characters like that, they already have it like 5 or 6 stars. I mean, you're talking about Luke Cage. Like, are you kidding me? A Luke Cage Blitz event? Anybody who's already doing Blitz could have already had him at 7 stars already. You know how easy it is to like farm the Blitz store? It's incredibly easy. That's why you see everybody running around with like a 6 or a 7 star Gamora, because she's in there. Like, all those heroes that are in there are ridiculously easy to farm because you get a stupid amount of Blitz credits for Nibb Blitz, like you should be doing anyway. So, not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of their packs. I really don't understand where their logic is. Like, hopefully this is just like the calm before the storm, and all of a sudden we're going to get bombarded with all of these great Blitz events like Mordo. I'd like to see Black Widow come back. Maybe even another Thor event, because we haven't seen very much of him. Some of the more rare heroes that we don't have access to that could actually shift the meta. Now, they could introduce new heroes that can shift the meta as well. They could, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, for all we know, could be meta changers to counter the meta. Even like Mordo and Doctor Strange, we're kind of shifting it in a direction like I was talking about in one of my earlier videos, where I think it's going to go towards like a more debuff heavy meta. There's a lot of ways that you can go to shift the meta without having to like nerf or buff or do anything like that. There's just kind of been like a lull in the amount of characters that they've been releasing over like the past 3 months with, say, Star Wars as like a comparison. Now, I've seen the devs do interviews where they talked about they don't think that there's enough content. I agree. There could be plenty more content. They could be adding more heroes. They could just do Blitz events, if nothing else, just to entice people to come out their wallets a little bit more, considering that their deals aren't really that good. And there's different ways that they could get people to spend money. Like, if you do the math, like, let's just say hypothetically, they have a pack that comes out, and it gives you, say, half the shards for a hero, or it gives you the shards for a hero and something else like a newer hero, or even like an older one like a Black Widow for like $10, like they did with Cap when you first started playing the game. That it was like very limited. Like, if you didn't get it within 24 hours, you were kind of screwed. They could do that with like a new hero and charge like 10 or $15, and people would scoop that up left and right. Now, if you do the math, let's just say 10% of the player base buys a $10 pack. You've got $1 million money. Okay, say even, what is it, 25,000 people, which is nothing in out of 1 million, buy a $20 pack. That's still only 500k. Then you have like the $40 pack, which is absolutely insanity in most cases, especially when compared to other games. Let's just say only 10,000 people buy that, because it's probably around that, like really not that much more, because especially from going through the community and reading people's thoughts and their opinions on things, aren't a whole lot of people spending that much money. You got your whales that are spending that much money. That's only 400k. So they could literally make twice as much money by giving players 10k, you know, $10 packs that will make them feel like they have gratification. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the instant gratification. Like, they have something that could make an impact right off the bat. Even if it's only just the 2-star version of a new hero, or a 1-star version. I'd pay $10 for a 1-star Mordo. I'd pay $10 for a 1-star Wasp when it comes out, or whatever. Would you? I'm pretty sure half of the community would, just to be able to try it and see what they're trying to do with the meta. It gives players an idea of how to adapt to the meta shift without putting them in like a frantic state when everything shifts and they have to like abandon what they were doing and start going in a different direction, because that's normally how the meta shifts happen. So basically, like, their character release schedule and itinerary it just befoodles me. Like, I don't even understand why they're doing it. I thought I got it with like the Blitz and what they were trying to do, but like recently they've gone way off the deep end, like throwing all of these like terrible characters at us. Like, not terrible, but like average characters, like C, D rating characters, and thinking that people are just gonna like go balls deep in these Blitz events. No, people don't care, FoxNext. That's what's happening. I don't. I haven't really tried at all for this Luke Cage event. I've already got him at 5 stars just because I could, and like I had an abundance of like Blitz credits, but I'm only at like 90k and I got a day to go. Like, I don't care. I only get like top 25%. I've gotten top 10% in every Blitz since I started playing the game. I don't care about Luke Cage. I'm not going to use him. I don't really think the defenders are that viable as a squad, just because Iron Fist is pretty much useless. So it's like you basically have 3 out of the 5, and unless they introduce Stick or something of that nature, or even if they bring in Claire Temple, which I heard that is going to be introduced in the game at some point, like the Daredevil version of Claire Temple. If you give her a defender tag and she's like a healer / debuffer, disabler, then maybe you could make them viable, but you still have to fix Iron Fist kit because it sucks. It literally does. And I've tried it. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can't fix it. So like, there's things like that they could definitely do. They need to fix the Blitz, the Blitz events, and at least throw us a bone here. Like, give us a Blitz event that's worth it. Like, I get it, man. All kinds of people they want people spending money on the Shield event. Maybe that's what they're focusing on. Maybe their marketing department is only giving us, told them, hey, don't give them any good Blitz events. We want to see if we can get these people that don't normally spend money on characters to do that, so we can kind of gauge what's working and what's not. Guess what, FoxNext? Most of the shit you're doing isn't working. Okay, anything over like $25. Players aren't coming out of their pockets for. This is a free-to-play game, and in most cases, it is a kind of casual, can be hardcore type of game that people are playing on their smart devices or their phones. People are not just going to be coming out their pockets constantly. Sure, you're going to have a very small fraction of a percentage of your player base is going to do that, but the vast majority is not. And yes, I understand that those whales are going to be the ones keeping your game alive, but they don't have to be. If you gave the players something that, like, some instant gratification every now and then, and make us feel like there's something for everybody, that we're not just getting gypped on everything unless we want to drop $40, players will come out their wallet. I will come out my wallet for a 1-star $10 character if that character is good enough, just to see what kind of synergy it could bring. And I could use it in Blitz. So that opens up the whole can of worms for things that players could experiment with and make them excited again. So, like, overall, what we're going to do is we're going to go over briefly the things that they could do to change the game. Gold is a big deal. We understand that now with the fiasco and the huge dilemma that's going on with these players, newer ones, getting more gold. Here's one of my suggestions to fix that. Increase the gold gain from campaign missions at max level. Make it, 40, 45, 50% more gold to compensate for the lack of experience that we're getting. It'd be like a conversion rate. Like, since we're not getting experience anymore, we will get more gold. Because otherwise there's a reward. Because, like, as you're leveling, you're getting that experience, and as you get experience, you gain levels, and every time you level, you get a whole bunch of gold. We're not getting that anymore at level 60. A lot of the level cap players feel like they're getting gypped on that. That's an easy fix. Just increase the amount of gold gain by 40 to 50% from campaign missions only, and that will satiate a lot of the players and calm them down. Communication. That's a big one. Use forums. Simple. Hire a community manager. Problem solved. All you have to do is have some kind of transparency about the direction that you're taking in the game, why you make the decisions that you do, what the scheduling is going to be like, so players can be prepared, so they're not always scrambling in a frantic state when some event comes around or some change happens and they feel like they have to spend money in order to be competitive. Don't make your player base feel like they have to spend money. You want to motivate and inspire them to spend money through creative marketing. Period. 3. Meta. The meta is an easy one. Increase the frequency of meta-changing hero blitz events, or make them farmable. Make the Black Panther event, do that one more. Thor, Black Widow, heroes that can, essentially change a meta, increase the frequency of those blitzes to keep players excited about doing blitzes. There is a lot of players right now who are just talking about how they can't stand doing it. The farming is getting old. They're just getting burned out on blitzes already. It's like the first day you spend like a little over an hour just to get everything done. And then from there, most people are only using 2, maybe 3 squads to complete the blitz event. It's the first day that's a nightmare. And it's a huge time investment. It really is. And if you're talking about making the investment, commensurate with the reward, it's really not right now. Like, who wants to spend an hour and a half, or let's just talk about over a 3-day period. You're talking about 2 hours of your time for, at best, 45 loot cage shards. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Like, you can pretty much get 45 loot cage shards just by finishing any other blitz event for a character that nobody really cares about anyway. Like, give us some heroes that people really care about. Give us some meta-changing heroes. Give us some heroes that are more rare, like even Vision. Give us the Mordo event. Go back in a Cap event, Hawkeye, things that we haven't seen before, and even give us a Blitz event for some of the mercs, like Korat the Pursuer. I know a lot of people don't have him all the way farmed up. He's a decent character for the Blaster event and for the Merc event. Make him farmable. Do things like that. I mean, they kind of threw us a bone with Bullseye a little bit because he is also a Merc and a Blaster as well. Do more of that to make players feel like they're investing their time wisely. Otherwise, they're just going to get burned out, they're going to get pissed off, and they're not going to spend any more money on your game. And what you really want to do is try to please like 30 to 43% of your community as best as possible, and that's where the revenue will really come in. Even 30%. Right now, like, you're giving offers that only maybe 10 to 12% of the community are even taking advantage of, and you think you're balling. Increase that by 10 to 12.5, 13%, and you're going to have so much money that you're not going to know what to do with, and you can hire a really good community manager to make sure that you don't have the pitchforks and torches that you're having on Reddit right now griping about all the shortcomings, and you can have somebody that can take the heat for you so you don't have to have some poor programmer come out later on down the line and try and explain all this stuff. That's what you have a community manager for. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to throw all that out there. Thank you for listening. If you stayed tuned till the end, like and or subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And as always, be the change that you want to see in the community. Take care, folks. Mr. Nibb signing off.